Hello everyone. Today I'll be making a video to show how to develop a Thinkorswim custom indicator for pre-market volume. So I have a label here that's showing the amount of pre-market volume traded in dollar amount for each stock. For example, when we look at Meta, so it's been trading $11.7 million before the market. So right now it's Monday, but it's a holiday, so market is closed. So we are really looking at last Friday. So last Friday from midnight to the market open, what's the volume being traded? So this part, and I'm on West Coast, so this is showing the market open at 6:30. But it will be 9:30 when we write the code. 6:30 here basically means 9:30 Eastern time. So it's calculating all the volumes in the pre-market. So these bars, and I'm going to not only counting the shares, but also multiply by the stock price to count how much dollar was traded on the stock. And I have a threshold that I usually only trade the tickers that has more than $20 million pre-market. So if it's below $20 million, this label will show gray. If it's above, it will show black. So if I switch to Tesla, which traded much more volume, 355 million last Friday pre-market, and it will show me black. Then that's an indicator to tell me whether this stock has enough pre-market activity for me to trade. So today I'll be showing you how to write a Thinkscript indicator for that. So first of all, let's move this window smaller, and then let's bring out our code editor from the Thinkorswim. So coding these guys. I'm going to first open the studies, and then we're gonna click edit study. Here we'll be writing our own studies. So I already have it. Let me remove that so we don't have it anymore. Let's write a new one. So you will hit create your own studies, and then let's give it a name. Let's say pre-market accumulative pre-market volume. So let's just put this, and then let's get the default, which is just drawing the close price. We don't need that, so let's edit source to change the code. So first you're gonna define the time range that you want include for the volume calculation. So let's define two variables here. The pre-market begin, when does it begin? It will just begin at midnight, so I'll just put zeros there. And then pre-market end, when does pre-market end? Ends at market open, so it's 9:30. Okay, and then we're going to define whether the current bar is in the range that we want to trade. So first, let's define a variable called is in range equal. First of all, I want to only include the pre-market volume of the current day. So let's just close this out first. Let me show you what I mean. Meaning we are only gonna include the volumes of the most recent day. not including the previous day or more days before that, right? So we need to only look at the most recent day. For now, because market closed on January 2nd on Monday, so the last recent day is last Friday on the chart. So let me show you how to do that. So it's not drawing anything, that's why it's showing red, but we'll change it. So it's in the range if we get the day of the current bar is equal to the last day of the chart. So that is one condition, and it's after the midnight and before the market open time, so it needs to be, we are going to use a function called seconds till time, and seconds till time is pre-market end, so it's going to be greater than 0, and seconds since time, or seconds from time, pre-market begin, also greater than 0. So if it's that means it's in the range, then we give it 1, otherwise we give it 0. So that's the parameter that's going to control whether we're going to include this bar in our pre-market volume. Then I'm going to define a variable called dollar traded. That's the amount of money being traded in pre-market for this stock. And then that is if it's in the range, then we're gonna have something, like say APC, right? Else it's just 0. Or else it's the value before. Let's just keep it value. So let me start from here. If it's in the range, the dollar traded will be the volume of current bar. So volume is a internal parameter that stores the volume, and then we're gonna times the average price for that bar, and it's called VWAP. So volume weighted average price. So volume weighted average price times volume will be the total dollar amount traded in that bar. And then we're gonna keep it accumulative. So we're gonna add the previous bar, add the dollar traded from the previous bar, which is bracket 1, meaning the last value, the dollar traded value from the last bar. So that would be our accumulated pre-market volume. If it's not in the range, let's just use whatever value we had before. So let's just say it's not going to add anything, just use the previous bar. So that's basically, this is the value we're going to print. So now I'm going to add a label to show this. So we'll add a label, and I'll give a yes, meaning I'll always draw this label. And then we're going to show the value. So I can do dollar traded, and then give it some color. Let's say, let's just draw it black for now. All right, let's see what it looks like. So here we go. You will see we are drawing the amount of money being traded on Tesla in pre-market, and it's not very easy to read because there are so many decimals. So I'm going to, and there are many digits as well because it's a large number. So I'm going to draw it only in terms of $1 million. So I'm going to divide it by 1,000,000, and we'll see this number much smaller, right? And I don't like so many decimals here. Let's say maybe I only need 1 decimal. So I'll round this number to only 1 decimal. Right, so we got 355.8 million, and it's not very easy. When you have a lot of labels, you wouldn't know what does this number mean. So let me also added maybe some text before that. So I'm going to say it's pre-market. It's the pre-market volume, and I'll give it a dollar sign so that I know it is meaning a dollar, not the amount of shares. And because it's a million, so I'm going to add a big M there, so that it tells me it is a million. So let's change it. Now it's much easier to read. Okay, pre-market, this much $1 million being traded, and I want to show the color not always in black, right? Because if it meets my threshold, I want to show it black. If it doesn't meet, I want to show it in gray. So in the color part, the color argument, we're gonna make a condition. If dollar traded, typo here, dollar traded is greater than 20 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then we're gonna use black. Else we use gray. Okay, then Tesla should stay black, but then when we switch to Meta, it will be black. Okay, so let me close this window so that computer is frozen. Let's see. All right. So now we have this label, and if I change to other stocks like Meta, it'll be great, right? So that means when I have a lot of charts on my screen, and I can glance over it and see, okay, anyone that has the gray label, meaning I should take it off from the watch list, because sometimes it's not meeting my threshold in the morning when I'm preparing, but as we get to the market open, the volume picks up and it will meet my requirement, right? So I keep this. So I have a pool of stocks on the screen, and then once the market opens, I can take some off based on the color of this label. So that's it for guys. Let me bring up the code, show you again how we did it. It's pretty simple. And if you want to also look at the amount of shares, I don't look at the amount of shares because some stocks has high price, some stock has low price. So I think the money amount being traded is more useful instead of just look at the shares. But you can look at the shares, so you can define another parameter, say shares traded, and you just do it similarly. If it's in range, then it's just the volume, right? Because we just look at the volume plus the previous volume. Else, then we just use the previous volume. So that would be your shares traded. So let's make another one. Make another label. Say shares pre-market shares, and then no need for these guys. So it's just the shares. Shares. Sorry, I made a mistake here. This is shares traded. Or it's say shares traded. Okay, then we do the shares traded. Not going to use any condition, just always draw it in black for now. Okay, let's put it in place. So now you can see, right? So Meta has 11 million, which is also 98,000 shares. Well, let's look at Tesla. It's much more. So it's more shares, 2 million shares, right? Also, it's about the same price, but it's a much higher share, so it's a much higher dollar amount. Okay, that's it for guys.